Good day to all board of directors. We are pleased to welcome you here. Today is such a big day for me and my team to present our project proposal on foreign direct investment that is specifically focused on the nursing home in Japan. So, without further ado, let us begin our presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to present our project proposal in terms of expanding our business growth of nursing home owned in Japan. As we know that our company has been actively expanding their business network to other countries such as Singapore, Turkey, India, and even to the Greater China. This has become our home market that helped us to deliver our premium healthcare service more effectively and efficiently. We also are able to have a stable growth across this business unit. Also, for your information, our company has been actively making acquisitions on nursing home in Japan since 2015. This strategy are actually a good move to our company as it shows that we are using our capability and capacity more effectively by responding fast with the changing needs in the markets, especially with the current trends in Japan that there are a rising of rapid growth of aging populations. This has allowed us to provide more facility that which it gives us a long-term benefits where we're able to fulfill the demand right away. So, by having this little information, we will proceed by introducing our project proposal, which is acquiring one of the property owned by the HCM or the Healthcare Medical Investment Corporations. This property is located in Mashida. Mashida is one of the Tokyo metropolitan area. Therefore, it is a perfect fit for IHH to invest in this property since we still does not have any property in this area. So the property will cost ringgit Malaysia of 144 million, 644,746 or equivalent to 3,580 million yen. Later, we will elaborate more on the financial projection of this project.
For the part of annual report, we are focusing more on financial report analysis, and we use ratio analysis to analyze the IHH Healthcare Berhad financial performance. This because by doing this ratio analysis, this will allow investor to have a quick overview of company performance. And the measurement that we use in the ratio analysis is liquidity and capital structure. In terms of liquidity ratio, it is used to measure a company's ability to pay short-term obligation in timely manner, and the good ratio is when the ratio is above 1. The table show that IHH have a stable current ratio, and the quick ratio show that IHH are able to cover its short-term liabilities. In terms of cash conversion cycle, IHH are taking longer period to turn their asset into cash, but we need to remember the business nature of IHH where healthcare and medical business are not day-to-day profit, but it is involve a higher capital investment, and that's why they take longer period to settle down their account payable to the lenders. In terms of leverage ratio, by doing the capital structure analysis, it will provide an overview of the way finance its operation through the equity and debt. By having a lower debt, it may indicate that the company are effectively not depending on financing their operation through debt. And this is good since they are in lower risk in paying high interest. But the concern is we can look to the size of the company. The bigger the company, the higher capital investment, and it can lead to having more debt rather than using own equity. In IHH can see that their debt ratio are below 50%, and it can indicate that they are not highly depending on loan to finance their asset. IHH also have high possibility of paying their interest in the timely manner. Specifically, the debt ratio rise up to 3.73% in 2018, and it may be contributed by the acquisition of Fortis Healthcare in India. But overall, it still shows that they are depending on debt.
let's move to current situation and market analysis of healthcare in Japan. People who born in Japan have the longest life expectancy of any country in the world. This can be proved by numbers of people living longer at the age of 65 is doubled from 5% to 9%. Japan government had introduced various initiatives for their people such as free screening process for certain illness, infections control and prenatal care. Under the healthcare system, patients only required to pay 30% medical costs and the remaining 70% incurred by government. Since 2000, Japan has introduced long-run care insurance (LCTI), which help the elderly in step with their needs. The system means to reduce burden care among families, and this system also one amongst the foremost comprehensive care for elderly in the world. According to WHO, within 10 years, total health expenditure has reached $473.5 million, which spending has risen from 8.5% of GDP in 2008 to 10.9% in 2018. By that, Japan now is exploring innovative to enhance quality life of the elderly and the caretakers. The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry has implemented 5-year plan for robotic device development for nursing care at the same to promote development of robotic device domestically and internationally. The Ministry expects market for robotic device will grow from 16.7 billion yen in 2015 to 404.3 billion yen in 2035. The term Kaigo Roboto used to describe the new group of innovative assistive devices. Japan Prime Minister Shinzo Abe wants to make robotics as a major pillar of Japan's economic growth strategy and plans to create special task force to treble size of industry to 2.4 trillion yen.
SWOT analysis consists of 4 segments, which is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. And this is the SWOT analysis for IHS Healthcare Berhad. The strengths of IHS Healthcare are known as the largest private sector in Southeast Asia since the company has been listed in primary market in Bursa, Malaysia. IHS also success toward national and international benchmark and also have a strong financial performance, while IHS has achieved growth of approximately 10% year-on-year to 3.2 million in the 3 months ended in December 2018 and improved the company revenue and EBITDA 28% and 33% respectively. The weakness that IHS Healthcare facing are the anticipated variable of Turkish lira and inability to recruit and retain staff, since the affected Turkish lira currency has affected the amount of funding currency that will affect the ringgit terms, and the inability to recruit and reserve personnel due to the stiff competition between hospitals. IHS Healthcare has taken an opportunity to do investment in cutting-edge healthcare technology and also launched a virtual consultation healthcare technology. IHS has expanded its platform to new market by investing in Singapore-based health company Dr. Anywhere in order to help their increase their fundraising, and this partnership will help IHS expand its digital ecosystem and support clients with IHS full suite healthcare services. Threat that IHS has faced were the country regulatory system and business and new technology. This is where IHS has to deal with challenging regulatory and business environment when the company expanding to India. For the new technology, where healthcare industry will face rapid changes in technology and medical advance such as artificial intelligence, robotic surgery, information technology, and 3D printing. In order to advance the future healthcare facility and IHS ability to adapt to these changes.
This recent year, Japan has been experiencing population's aging issue due to rapid growth of economic and changes in family and social structure. Japan Times has measured in their article more than 20% of Japan population is over 65 years old, and it is highest proportion in the world. By 2030, it is estimated 1 in every three people will be 65 or older, and 1 in 5 people is 75 and above years old. This can be proven by seeing the statistical data from Bureau of Japan on current estimation populations in 2018. On the statistical data, the top 5 prefectures in populations were in Tokyo, Kanagawa, Osaka, Aichi, and Kaitama. In 2018, Tokyo is the largest populations with 10.9% of total populations. Meanwhile, percentage of populations aged 65 years old and over was highest in Akita and the lowest in Okinawa.
Next is about legal procedures of setting up business in Japan. There are 4 types for foreign company to establish business operation in Japan, which is the first is representative office, second is branch office, third is subsidiary company, and the last is limited liability partnership. The first is representative office. It is type of operation that will present as a location for carrying out initial and supplementary tasks that will help enable the companies to conduct full-scale operation in Japan. In this business operation, they are focused on collecting and analyzing market survey, and also there are no sales activity are allowed in this business and no registration required. The second is branch office. These business operations are suitable for foreign company that want to engage in continuous transaction in Japan. In this business operation, the foreign company are need to register 4 type of registration, which is the first is the appointment to the representative in Japan, second is the establishment of branch office, third is the register to Japanese corporation or partnership. In this business operation also doesn't have their own legal corporate status and will face all the unlimited liability. The foreign company also need to open bank account and list all the real estate in their own name. The third is subsidiary company. In this business operation, there are 2 choices of establishment, either the joint stock corporation Kabushiki Kaisha, and the second is limited liability company Godo Kaisha. In this subsidiary company, the limited liability company LLC has more advantage rather than the joint stock corporation. And the similarity of these two is both have a limited liability. The differences between these 2 choices is the limited liability company has a self-control on its article of association, while for the joint stock corporation, it is not necessarily for them to provide a financial statement that approved by their members and does not have to publish it. The fourth is limited liability partnership. It is a partnership that has limited liability among its equity participation. The advantage of limited liability partnership is the flexibility in determining the external rules involved, the agreement among the equity participant, and the taxation itself can levy on its profit. From the 4 type of business operation in Japan, we are doing business through limited liability company, which is Godo Kaisha. This because it will become our main vehicle entity to help us conduct the acquisition. Instead, P-Life Rich, which is IHS subsidiary, also has conduct their income property investment by entering silently partnership with Godo Kaisha because it is one of the requirements to do business in Japan.
For the focus project, we have proposed to make an acquisition of a nursing home named Sompo Kelavire Machida Noji that located in Machida. The main purpose of this acquisition is to expand IHS business growth in this nursing home sector. IHS has acquired more than 5 nursing homes in Japan. IHS has expanded their nursing home investment growth up to 13 main prefectures such as Akita, Chiba, and Hokkaido. This acquisition will help to bulk up IHS exposure through their subsidiary that conduct all related investment in Japan, since there are rapid growth demand in nursing home in Japan. Annual inflation rate. Based on table in report, the forecasted inflation for both countries are respectively below 1%. The forecast inflation are calculated by considering relevant factors such as historical data, average growth, and base year. The forecast inflation is taking the year 2019 inflation rate of 0.70% as base year. Based on the forecast data that predict Malaysia will have almost constant inflation rate growth, the Malaysia Central Bank has announced that the projected average inflation in 2020 will range from negative 1.5% to 1.5% by taking consumer price index. Meanwhile, in Japan, inflation rate for past year are relatively lower record of inflation. This negative rate gives lower borrowing costs, which the Bank of Japan only charges 0.1% for excess reserve financial institution. The lower percent of inflation rate in Japan shows that their purchasing power are relatively higher than Malaysia.
After considering 2.64% of cash and equivalent of IHH, we are proposing to use the internal fund to acquire the property. This gives benefit to company in a long run because we are able to generate revenue from the property since it is located at one of Tokyo metropolitan area. Machida is one of the Tokyo metropolitan areas that may attract senior citizens to stay as it is near to main district and the property area itself is surrounded with greenery view that may let them in a peace of mind.
Next is weighted average of capital WSCC and the cost of equity are 2.87%. The WSCC is equal to cost of equity since there will be no cost of debt. This because the 100% of the source fund is from the internal fund. Next is discount rate. The discount rate is 4.78%, which is by adding the WSCC, country risk, and inflationary risk.
According to the data, we are planning the growth by considering some relevant factors such as room availability and occupancy rate. The current occupancy rate is 69.62% as 2018. Therefore, as in line with the aging population's rise in Japan, we are preparing to increase growth rates by 5% per year. The room rate per month is taken by considering fees of the long-term care and medical care. We are responsible to delivering quality health to our patient comparable to the fees paid. It is synced with the service that our company offered as a private nursing provider. Within 10 years, we are expect 100% of occupancy with total sales 978 million yen.
Next is pro forma income statement. In this pro forma, we are projecting every figure of each expenses category is by using historical data from the previous company, since we will continue the operation without changing anything. They had specifically the financial report on this property. Therefore, every figure that being put are based on taking consideration that need to be counted in these projections. Also, we may have a fixed amount for certain items of expenses since we are following the historical data that has a fixed cost across each years. So, there are 6 main expenses in this property, which are property tax. Property tax brings 1.53%. We are estimating the percent will be fixed, and as it is based on the fixed asset value of 1.5%, and the 0.3 is from the value of the building. The second one is about outsourcing. Our outsourcing refer to the expenses of meals and laundry. We are paying this outsourcing to Sompoke since they are the operator of nursing care service, as we are the nursing care with pay service base. Therefore, Sompoke has a lease agreements of remaining 8.2 years, and therefore the total cost will be fixed. So the third one is the repair expenses. We are estimating that it will increase each year 2%, as it is in line with the increasing of the occupancy rate. The fourth one is about insurance expenses, which involve two main important items, which is fire insurance and the earthquake insurance. And for the fifth one is about depreciation. We are estimating that our property will have a useful life of 24 years, and we are using a straight line method to calculate the depreciations. And the last one is about other item expenses. In other items consists of three main importance, which is the administrative salary, the office use, and the miscellaneous item. We are putting the administration salary is because in this others item is because we do not recruit many staff, since we have some pocket that will give pet care service to the elderly. For cash flow statement, there are two main important activities that involve, which are operating and investing. For operating, there are two activities, which are income statement and the depreciations, and while for the investing only occur at the first year, which are about purchasing of the property. Overall, the cash flow is in a positive or cash flow or inflow during this business operation projections. Lastly is about net present value. The net present value shows that it is a positive project and acceptable project, since the NPV carry 1.4 billion in 10 years, and the initial cost will be covered in 8 years, which it may look longer as we are taking considerations of the inflationary risk and the market risk, since Japan is a low risk country. And the internal rate of return itself shows 11% out of 4.8% from the discount rate, which this is actually relatively higher than the discount rate, and also it yield a returns of 2.3% of the total sale. So in a nutshell, we are hoping that our project will be accepted and approved, as this is a very good investment to the IHH to expand their business, their current business growth of nursing home in Japan, and we will ensure that every penny that being invested in this property will be worth it. So thank you for all years on us.